Struggling with the problem, Uncle Ma had a sudden brainstorm, feeling heroic. The scene shifts to two mob bosses arguing over a bar, exchanging friendly threats. Uncle Ma's arrival made them uneasy, and sure enough, a clueless henchman jumped out as if he wanted to shield his boss. Standing at the gang's front door, Uncle Ma looked like a kid in front of an ice cream truck, and the glares of the two mob bosses softened quite a bit. Under Uncle Ma's influence, they hugged and sought forgiveness like old friends. With the conflict resolved, Uncle Ma felt victorious. Uncle Ma realized some loved this gambling sport, and soon found out about the Korean online casino operator. This guy was Uncle Ma's old friend, now the second in command of the mob from dark to light tale. Uncle Ma washed his hands of the gang life at the door and opened an arcade to talk about a transformation from thug to king of games. Naturally, seeing Uncle Ma made them uneasy. When the other side refused to cooperate, Uncle Ma showcased his special skills, and helpless Yishu had no choice but to surrender to the cops. Reluctantly confessing his past, what a funny night. Turns out, he once ran an online casino too. He said these websites are usually bought, but who would guess that some tough guys actually kidnap programmers? Right after that, Yishu knew this website inside out. He was practically an insider at the world's largest online casino. He was once one of their underlings, but when a guy named Bajenji showed up, all online casinos in the Philippines were cleaned up. This gave him a monopoly on the site. Impressive. But Yishu happened to know an agent in Korea. Late at night, the female cop and Yishu posed as gamblers, but Yishu's line had everyone bursting into laughter. He immediately wagered all $5,000 in chips, and the next second it was like falling into a black hole. Poof, it was all gone. However, his dramatic move caught the attention of a guy, proving that the spotlight was still on him. The man took him to the next room and recommended an online casino, but when he heard the minimum buy-in was a cool million, Yishu was completely stunned. The man surprisingly pulled out a knife to threaten him, and Yishu thought to himself, being a cop is definitely not easy. However, Uncle Ma wasn't going to take this lying down. After some pressure, the guy finally spilled the beans. His boss Choi Yaoshin was returning today, so Uncle Ma tracked him, unaware Bajenji had arrived in Korea. They brushed past, the team followed to a clothing store, but Choi Yaoshin caught on just before striking. At this moment, Choi Yaoshin exhibited a strong will to survive, instantaneously leading a chase through the storeroom. He dashed over piles of clothes and finally opened the back door like playing escape room. But the next second, Zidal snagged him back to the precinct while Bae-chan-ki was just begging for money. The audacity. Jang Dong was a boss with a storyteller's flair, returning to Korea from the Philippines just for money. But Jang Dong handed him a paintbrush, telling him to wait, and he'd make more than he does now. Talk about tempting. Bae-chan-ki pretended to be convinced, and Jang Dong actually sent his guys to bribe officials. It was like the full version of Gangster Chronicles. The officials showed zero interest in money and flat out rejected the henchman, creating an hilariously awkward scene. When Bae-chan-ki presented the check in an envelope, the official couldn't refuse. It was survival mode for him. Seizing the moment, Bae-chan-ki threatened Jang Dong, saying he'd dump the henchman's body on his turf. Talk about blunt. Jang Dong looked unfazed, saying that since Choi Yaoshin was caught, he'd spill the beans on them sooner or later. What a bit of street. Meanwhile, Bae-chan-ki hung up in a fury, and the next morning he was lurking outside the police station, ready to blow things up. While the police were busy dealing with the take-out bomb, he sneaked up on Choi Yaoshin and smoothly took care of him. After using Bae-chan-ki, Jang Dong started playing dirty, deliberately letting the cops discover the henchman's body that Bae-chan-ki had killed. What a crafty tactic. When Bae-chan-ki saw the news report, he immediately knew Jang Dong was behind it, thinking, I've become the scapegoat. If the guy with a knife gets treated like this, what about those without? He had no choice but to teach his boss a lesson. That day, Jang Dong threw a celebration feast, and Bae-chan-ki was already planning to take him down. Zidao also tried to talk to him, but shockingly ran into Bae-chan-ki in the elevator. There was enough spark between them to light the whole building. Bae-chan-ki sensed something off and planned to reach the 20th floor, but intentionally got off on the 19th. Zidao was also feeling uneasy, and the alliance followed suit. In the restroom, he found Bae-chan-ki. The great battle is on the brink of erupting. With tension in the air, are the police fully prepared? Don't go anywhere. The excitement is unfolding right now. Zidao is on the verge of displaying his astonishing superpowers in the ladies' restroom. His colleagues were knocked out by Bae-chan-ki in the male section. As he looked at these widows, he planned to take them all out in one go. However, Baichanki threatened him by using the cleaner's life isn't that the ultimate expression of dark humor. Sidao had no choice but to sweet-talk him and try to convince Baichanki to let the cleaner go, but he was just too tough. He had to save the guy first. Baichanki hadn't even had time to look for Zhang Dong when Zhang's people showed up first to talk about an awkward moment. In the presence of the overbearing Baichanki, they seemed to have transformed into omnipotent superheroes from a dream. After enduring an intense and thrilling battle, none of Zhang Dong's men escaped unscathed, and they were ultimately left lying defeated on the ground. Baichanki brandished a knife, forcing Kai and Sheng to switch sides, while Zidao secretly investigated the beautiful life of Zhang Dong for hard evidence. Zidao decided to initiate a betting platform in the name of Zhang Yixiu. What an immense challenge this poses for his title of super director. Upon hearing this, Baichanki immediately refused, thinking, I don't want to take that risk. In the end, Zidao had no choice but to show him his badge from his pocket.